Lots of people dream of moving to a sunny climate or living at the beach, so Florida is a popular natural choice. But is it a good idea to move to Florida? Maybe you're watching this video because you're daydreaming about moving to Florida, or maybe your moving plans are already in motion. So you landed on this video because you don't want to hear a lot of negative things, but you do want an honest opinion about whether it's a good idea to move here and what it's really like to live in Florida. Hey, my name is Amy Smith. I'm a real estate broker at Sun Realty One here in Tampa, Florida. So back to our question, is it a good idea to move to Florida? Well, what are some things that we think of, or what constitute good when we think about a place to live? As I thought about this and did a little reading about what makes a good place to live, I found that there are a few main categories that tend to make people happy in relation to where they live. Here are my top 5 things, my top 5 reasons that Florida is a good place to live and why it's a good idea to move here. The first thing is the availability of jobs, particularly good paying jobs and employment opportunities in general. According to a Florida Department of Economic Opportunity press release, I could give you a lot of statistics right here, but I could just sum it up and say that things are going well. Jobs are being added faster than the national average. Unemployment is decreasing here, again, better than the national average. So it looks good. There are jobs to be had in a variety of sectors. I will put the link below so you can see the statistics for yourself if you want. The next reason that it's a good idea to move to Florida is crime and safety. Florida, particularly its cities, have their problems like any other U.S. city. However, according to Consumer Affairs, in their safest states ranking system, Florida ranks 15th safest state. I'll link this article as well. We all like to feel safe in our own beds, and I always do. The next good place marker is community amenities, particularly quality schools. For education, Florida's public schools, depending on what metrics you look at, come in somewhere between the top 12 and the top 16. Of course, it depends on what city you live in, as I said. But for the Tampa area, I have a very specific video about the top 10 high schools in the area, and I'll link that below as well. Another important thing to think about that makes people happy about where they live, which means it's a good idea to move here, is the opportunity for a healthy, peaceful outdoor lifestyle. So that's access to parks and green space and recreation and clean air and just peace and quiet in general. Florida has more state parks than most states. There are also a million opportunities to be outside at the beach or a river or a park or a national park or a theme park. It's a great place for outdoor living. Lastly, another good reason why it's a good idea to move here is the infrastructure, healthcare, arts, culture, things to do, good roads, restaurants and shops and theaters, just to name, well, that's more than a few. Without saying Florida is perfect, because it isn't, there are all these things and in abundance. I and my family are transplants to Florida. We've been here over 6 years now, but years before that, we daydreamed about moving here, about moving to the beach and starting a business, or would it really be like to live at the beach. And we're from Georgia, so we were very familiar with Florida, or at least as a vacation spot. That's all we knew, was that vacation feel of Florida. And we knew that living here would be different. But our experience has been a very positive one overall. There are definitely a lot of things we don't like about living here, so I'll start with those. So the cons that we've experienced in Florida, hurricanes, higher homeowners insurance, higher car insurance, higher water bills, crowds, traffic, mosquitoes. But as I said, we really like it here. No regrets at all about moving here. We've seen firsthand some of the things I mentioned earlier, job opportunities, good education, and then there are some simple things that we really enjoy, like fresh and cheap produce all year long, gardening all year long, an outdoor lifestyle, even in the wintertime. We got the pool, walking, running, kayaking, fishing. There is always something to do here too. Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens, that's the very tip of the iceberg. There are museums and restaurants and breweries and wineries, nature walks along the beach, shopping in little beachy towns. So whether or not Florida is right for you is a very personal decision, of course. I always think about, when people ask me this question about whether they should move here, I think of the, two travelers and the farmer, where the one traveler who sees only negative in people and one traveler who sees only positive. Look, it is about your perspective, but I'm a firm believer that what you expect to get is what you're going to get. We were very excited about moving here, and it's been great. You might have some very specific questions about what it's like to live here, or moving here, or buying a house here. I'd be very happy to help you, of course. So feel free to reach out to me directly, leave me a comment below, and I'll be glad to respond. I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.